Hello and welcome to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back at Okayama International full course layout, this time in the Ray Formula 4, the FF1600 for one of my favourite track and car combinations on the service. It's going to be a lot of fun this week. If you are new to my channel, we do a hot lap, a breakdown lap, and then we're back in the cockpit, a final time, the driving line on. Let's get started. Okay, let's start the hot lap. We're in fourth gear, down the left-hand side. We're looking for this cone on the right. And we're going to trail it off all the way down into second gear, back on the gas, up to third gear. Looking for this curbing here on the right. Little dab on the brakes, leave it in third gear, feel for the power again. Put the course to keep it as straight as possible here. Now we're looking for the 50-meter sign on the left. Again, long trail off, going to drop it down to second, get out to the apex on the gas nice and early, hold it out to the right-hand side as best as possible. We're looking for a nice, smooth, clean straight line as we look for the hairpin turn 5. And it's going to be just after the 100-meter marker. I'm going to brake quite hard, drop it all the way down into first gear, onto the apex. Up to second gear, over to the right-hand side, tiny dab on the brakes, back on the power. Now we're going to just absolutely copy and paste that last corner here. 50-meter marker for Redman. Drop it down to first, but really, really late on the downshift there, or you can have a spin. Heck it out here, around in first gear. And now we're going to go flat through Mike Knight corner. In third gear. Final corner, drop it into second, back on the gas, exit nice and wide, don't hit the sand. Nice tidy lap, and it's a 1 minute, is it? A 1:36.156. Right, let's do the breakdown lap. Okay, time for the breakdown. So as I said before, our first braking marker is this cone on the right-hand side, and as you see, someone has very handily painted a nice line all the way across from it, and just as we're getting there, we want to be up to almost full braking power. So I'm running 54% brake bias. I'm going to trail it all the way off, down to the apex, down to third, down to second, and as we get to the apex, we're going to feel for the power, trying to get back on full as soon as possible. Up to third gear, over to the right-hand side, and just before where this grass ends on the right-hand side, and you get the different coloured sort of asphalt there, that's when we're going to jump on the brakes, sending up to about 40%, dropping it down to third gear, or leaving it in third gear, sorry, and we're just looking to try and get onto the gas as soon as possible, so mid-corner on the apex and back up at 100%. If you get it right, it's going to send you out wide. I'll just flat through here, obviously, up to fourth gear, and what we're looking for is just before the 50-meter marker. We're going to brake up to only about 75%. We're going to trail it off, dropping it down to third, and then dropping it down to second at the apex. And as you can see at this stage here, as I hit the apex, I'm already well on 100% gas. Just holding it over to the right-hand side. Braking marker into the hairpin, so it's just after the 100, roughly about where the 80 or 75 meter board would be, and we brake up to about 90%. Well, that's getting rid of all of the speed in a straight line, dropping it down to second as we trail in, and then dropping it down to first at the apex, and then we build back up. You can't quite get onto 100% until you just straighten the wheel that little bit. Up to second gear, over to the right-hand side, and there's no actual sort of braking or lifting marker here, but it's as soon as I'm right over to the right-hand side, it's when I get up to, 20% brake, just to get that balance over the front tyres to allow the turn in. We're already on sort of 2/3 pressure here, and now we're back up to 100. Exit nice and wide, and then we're just repeating that same corner again. So as we get to the second set of curbings, I'm going to jump on the brakes, ending up to about 28%, as you could see there, trail it off, And now feel for the gas in second gear. Again, when we're actually on the apex, we're about 2/3 pressure on the old gas pedal. And then as we straighten up, we get back up to 100%. Exit wide. You can actually take a little bit of grass here, as I've done. Up to third gear. Now we're looking for the 50-meter marker on the right-hand side. And once we get there, we're braking up to about 90% again, using that rearward so that we're not locking up the rearward brake bias, so we're not locking up the fronts. Going to trail that off, dropping it down to second, and again, don't drop it down to first too early because you will likely to spin here. I drop it down to first on the apex as I build back up, and now I'm just going to rev it out in first gear, get back over to the left-hand side, and then we're just a light dab on the brakes up to about 30%, and now we're building back up on the gas pedal again. Had to come off slightly there just to make sure the rear didn't step out on me. And as I straighten up my wheel, I get back up to 100%, exiting nice and wide. Now we can go all the way through the gears here, up through third gear, absolutely flat out. And what we want to see is this. So our right-hand tires aren't actually on the yellow line. That is an X, and it's also a slowdown penalty. But where I am is absolutely where you want to be. Over to the left-hand side, and basically where the green asphalt stops and the mucky bit ends or starts, that's when we're going to get on the brakes. Final time up to about 55%. Drop it down to second gear. And now once we get to the apex, we're getting on to 100%, cutting the corner, exiting wide. And there we have it. That's the breakdown lap. We've got the driving line version coming up next. As always, thanks for your continued support. I've been Sambo iRacing, and I'll see you guys in the week.